Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here.
If you're sitting in your kitchen down there in Livingston, maybe relaxing on the porch up towards Birdstown, well, anywhere here in our beautiful Overton County, we're a community that really believes in helping our neighbors. That's just who we are.
It surely is.
And that's right where our hearts are at today. We're going to take a good, thoughtful look into something that can tire out even the most giving souls amongst us.
Yeah. That feeling of being stretched too thin.
Exactly. When you're always looking out for others. We've been spending some time with the wisdom of a spiritual teacher named Ram Dass.
Right. He had some real insight.
He did. A real knack for understanding how to keep that inner flame burning bright,
Yeah.
even when you're sharing your light.
Yeah, keeping going.
So our aim today, really, is just to pull out some practical guidance from what he talked about. Something that can help us right here in Overton County stay strong and, encouraged as we keep on serving our families, our churches, our whole community.
That's right. And you see that need, don't you? You see it everywhere around here.
Oh, absolutely.
Folks volunteering maybe at the food pantry over in Cookville or, folks always ready to lend a hand after a storm rolls through near Standing Stone State Park.
Yep. Seen it many times.
That spirit of generosity, that's the heart of Overton County, isn't it?
It truly is.
But, like you said, Ram Dass, he wisely pointed out that, that well of compassion, it could feel like it's running low sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
And it's not a failing, see, not on our part. It's kind of more like tending a garden, maybe.
A garden. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, you can't keep pouring water on everything else without taking some time to nourish the soil, tend to your own roots.
Okay, let's dig into that a little bit, that garden idea.
Yeah.
So when we start feeling that weariness, deep in our bones from giving so much, what kind of direction did Ram Dass offer? What's the next step?
Well, what's interesting, I think, is that Ram Dass saw that burnout feeling, that real deep down fatigue.
Yeah.
He didn't see it as something to be ashamed of.
Uh-huh.
It was more like a signal, like a signpost.
A signpost pointing where?
Pointing us towards what he called inner work. Now, that might sound a little out there, maybe?
A little bit, maybe. What's it mean for us?
Well, if we bring it down to earth, right here in Overton County, our everyday lives, he was really talking about intentionally taking those moments to turn inward.
Okay.
It could be your regular prayer time, sure, that's vital. But maybe it's also just, a few quiet minutes on the porch, swing, breathing deep, letting the day settle.
Just pausing.
Exactly. It's about consciously caring for that inner part of you, the part that keeps you grounded. Ram Dass, he often talked about practices like mindfulness or just being aware of your breath, even in the middle of a busy day.
So not necessarily escaping everything.
No, not at all. It's finding those small moments to center yourself, like maybe a mini meditation while you're waiting for the coffee to brew at the hard bean,
Gotcha. So this inner work, then, it's not about being selfish or taking time away that you could be spending helping somebody. Because, sometimes you can feel a little guilty stepping back, can't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a real feeling. And Ram Dass, he understood that tension. He really did.
Okay.
But we connect this to the bigger picture, right? And to our ability to truly serve with a full heart, not just for a little while, but for the long haul.
Yeah.
This inner work, this tending to your own spirit, it's absolutely essential. It's not optional, really.
So it enables the service.
Exactly. It's what allows you to keep showing up for your family, for your church family over there in the lawn, to keep volunteering where you're needed.
Yeah.
Ram Dass put it real clear.
Yeah.
It's the only way, finally, to maintain energy and inspiration.
The only way.
That's what he said. You can't keep giving if you're running on empty, right? It just doesn't work.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like that saying, putting your own oxygen mask on first on an airplane.
Precisely. Same principle.
Yeah.
Now, another big piece of this, something Ram Dass talked about a lot, was compassion.
Okay. Compassion. Towards others, obviously, but...
Well, yes, towards others. But he really emphasized starting with being gentle and understanding towards yourself.
Towards yourself first.
Yeah. And if we, think about our faith tradition, it kind of echoes that great commandment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
As yourself, yeah.
You can't really, truly extend that love and service to others if you're constantly batting yourself down inside or just feeling completely depleted.
So you got to have some for yourself to give it away.
That's the core of it. And Ram Dass had this really profound idea, I think. He said there's a compassion for ourselves, which is the source of compassion for all others. It starts right here.
Wow. Okay. The source. That's powerful.
It really is.
So, thinking about that, when we see folks around us going through hard times, and Lord knows there are folks struggling, maybe folks we're trying to help down around Dale Hollow Lake, or, folks just trying to make ends meet over in Monterey, that can weigh mighty heavy on your heart, can't it?
It surely can.
Yeah.
It really can. And Ram Dass, he acknowledged that weight, that emotional toll.
He didn't pretend it wasn't hard.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
He said it's a natural human response to feel sadness, even despair sometimes, when we witness suffering and realize we can't fix everything.
Yeah. That's a tough truth.
It is. He has some powerful words about it. He said something like, the pain of the world will sear and break our hearts because we can no longer keep them closed.
Once you open your heart.
Right. Once your heart opens up to the needs of others, you kind of naturally absorb some of that pain. It becomes part of you, in a way.
It's like you carry a little bit of their burden with you then.
You do. You really do.
But it ain't all sorrow and burden, is it? I mean, there's a real joy too, right? A grace that comes from helping folks.
Absolutely. You got to hold on to that too. If we bring it back home,
Yeah.
Think about that quiet satisfaction you feel when you do something, maybe even something small, to ease someone's load right here in our community. That feeling.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's a good one.
It is. And Ram Dass, he spoke about the joy of a single caring act. He talked about the honor of participating in a generous process. And this one really stuck with me. The simple, singular grace of being an instrument of love.
Being an instrument, yeah.
It's that deep sense of fulfillment, isn't it? Knowing you've made a positive difference somehow, even in just a small way.
Yeah, absolutely. And keeping that spirit strong, keeping that ability to be an instrument. It's not like a one-time fix, is it? You don't just get there and you're good forever.
No, precisely. Ram Dass really stressed the importance of like a daily practice, something ongoing.
Like going to church on Sunday isn't enough by itself.
Well, that's vital, but yeah, it's more than that too. It's not like taking a vacation and suddenly you're, immune to feeling overwhelmed again.
Right. Doesn't work though.
It's more like an ongoing commitment day by day to nourishing your inner self. Through regular prayer, sure, or those moments of quiet reflection we talked about. Whatever it is that truly feeds your soul, helps you reconnect with your center.
Finding what works for you personally.
That's it. Now, he also touched on something else, kind of an inner conflict sometimes. He called it the struggle between heart and mind. What do you reckon he meant by that?
Heart and mind. Well, I suppose your heart wants to help everyone, fix everything.
Exactly. Your heart's full of compassion, see. It just wants to reach out and alleviate every bit of suffering you see.
But your mind knows better sometimes.
Well, your mind is practical. Right. It recognizes limitations. It sees the potential frustrations, the things you can't change, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ram Dass, he kind of reassured us that this internal tug of war, it's normal. It's just part of a life dedicated to service.
So it's okay to feel that pull.
It is. Your deep caring is real. It's valid. But you also got to acknowledge the realities, what you can and can't control. It's a balance.
Okay. So for us folks here in Overton County then, when we feel that tiredness creeping in, or maybe that little voice of doubt starts whispering, wondering if we're really making enough of a difference, what's the main thing to take away from all this wisdom?
Well, I think what's really insightful here is the shift in perspective Ram Dass encouraged. It's about how you see those moments.
Okay.
He suggested that those times of weariness, those feelings of doubt, we shouldn't see them as signs of weakness or like we failed somehow.
Which is easy to do.
It is. But instead, try viewing them as well as valuable opportunities.
Opportunities for what?
Opportunities to just pause, to check in with yourself, and to intentionally nurture that inner strength, that resilience that allows us to keep on serving with a whole and open heart. It's a reminder, see?
A reminder to tend the garden.
There you go. Back to the garden. Tend the garden.
Well, now, that gives us all something mighty substantial to consider, don't it?
It does.
So if we want to take some of this wisdom and, actually weave it into our lives right here at home, what would be a helpful first step, something practical we can maybe try this week?
Yeah, that's the important question, isn't it? For each and every one of you listening right now, I'd encourage you to think about one small act of self-care. Just one.
Okay.
Something you can embrace this week, something just for you that will genuinely replenish your spirit. So you can continue to be that beacon of kindness right here in Overton County.
And it doesn't have to be big or fancy.
Not at all. Maybe it's spending some peaceful time out in the beauty around Dale Hollow Lake, just sitting by the water.
That sounds nice.
Or maybe allowing yourself a few extra moments of quiet prayer at your church, whether it's in Livingston or Alon or wherever you worship.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just reaching out to a dear friend, somebody supportive up in Monterey perhaps, just for some uplifting conversation. Something simple that fills your cup.
And we shouldn't feel even a little bit guilty about taking that time for ourselves, should we? Even when there's so much to do.
Absolutely not. That's the challenge, maybe. I challenge you, I challenge all of us to kind of reframe that thinking.
Yeah.
See this self-care, this tending to yourself. See it not as an extra, not as some selfish indulgence,
Right.
but as vital preparation, essential preparation for all the love and service you pour out into our community, day in and day out.
It's the fuel.
Exactly. It's the fuel that keeps the lamp of your spirit burning bright for others to see.
Well, that gives us all some mighty good food for thought. It surely does.
Hope so.
Now, we'd be mighty grateful to hear from you folks out there listening. What works for y'all? What are some of the ways you recharge and find strength when you're feeling kind of worn down from looking after others?
Yeah, we can all learn from each other.
We sure can. Share your thoughts, your experiences down in the comments. We're all walking this path together, helping each other along. And if you've found some comfort today, or maybe just a little bit of wisdom in our deep dive, well, please take a moment to like this and subscribe so you don't miss our future conversations right here, focus on things that matter to us in Overton County.
That'd be great. And now, maybe we can just offer a sincere prayer for everyone who joined us today.
Please.
Lord, we just ask that you grant strength to everyone listening, especially in those moments of weariness. May a deep peace settle upon each heart when doubts arise. And may we all be guided by your love in everything we do. We send out a blessing of peace and true well-being to all sentient beings everywhere. And a special heartfelt shout out to each and every one of you listening across our beloved Overton County. Go in peace.